everyone, and welcome to the all-in-one overview of the Twilight DLC. Welcome to another Planet Zoo video, and today we're going to check out all the new pieces and all the new animals that come with the brand new Twilight DLC, which you guys will be able to download tomorrow, and I had my hands on it one day ahead, which is pretty cool. So let's have a really quick check of the Thinnery pieces before we then move over to the actual animals, which I have placed beautifully in that forest over here. For those of you who follow my channel for longer, they will know this place, and there's some special news at the end of this video. Now, let's check out the pieces. This is everything we got with the Twilight DLC, just in that frame over here. And I'm gonna go back to the menu over here so you can see that. A couple of lovely things you can check. So I did a little thing here. So everything in the middle that you can see over here is FlexiColor. This is the only stuff that isn't, except the roof, that is FlexiColor. Unfortunately, these plants over here aren't FlexiColor, but this stuff over here again is. And then we've got 3 new trees, which let's just start with those. These are the common dew tree. We've got 3 different sizes, and then if we go into these pieces over here, you can see there's some kind of cool ghost fungus. We have wonderful lords and ladies plant in different sizes. We also have the common foxglove, which I don't really know why Frontier didn't just make them FlexiColor. We do have them now in common foxglove white, yellow, pink 1 and pink 2, which is kind of weird. Then unfortunately these bristlecone pine branch things are not recolorable, which I thought it would. And also very unfortunate, the autumn leaf litter, which is a beautiful piece, but it isn't FlexiColor either. But let me just quickly show you how cool it is. It's actually like a decal, and it's looking cool, really cool. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that it isn't. However, I'm not going to go through every single bit, but just showing you the overview over here might already give you a very good idea of the quality of this DLC. Now, I might just tell you that the pieces are really amongst the better ones we had. I'd rank it after the Conservation and the Europe DLC. Europe by far the best one, then the Conservation, and then this one. So that means it's far better than many of the other DLCs in terms of pieces. But there's something else we have to talk about at the end. Now, these are the signs and kind of little things, as you can see over here. These kind of lovely little, whatever, how they're called, festival, no, they're Twilight paper mesh sculpture. We got these as pins, as a little gift from Frontier. They look really amazing, and I have forgot to share them with you guys. Maybe I've done by now on Twitter, but I forgot. So other than that, you can actually see there's like the wombat, there's the bat, there is the raccoon, the fox, the skunk, and also some other things like that. Really cool. Not gonna lie, this looks really cool. I'm quite confused why we also have only that statue over here. It's just not like, I don't know, it's a reward statue. I think this is why it's the only one in here. But again, I really don't know why there is always this inconsistency here. Speaking of inconsistency, Frontier did a thing again. Now, as you can tell, there is a lot of stuff in this DLC which is really usable. I mean, except these mushroom pieces, even though I can see some usage in those. They are glowing in the night, as I can just quickly show you. There you go. You've got some glowing pieces. There's just in general a lot more glowing stuff. So as you can see over here, these decals are all glowing, which is kind of cool. You can do some cool stuff with it, but you can also, let me just quickly show you, in case you don't want this, you can also set the glow color to basically black, and then it's the normal piece. So that's kind of cool that they gave us the freedom this time around, and we don't have to just juggle this ourselves. So that's pretty cool. I like always when we get the choice to do stuff. But other than that, everything on this plate over here is also not a grid piece. I think this is even more surprising than the ability of being FlexiColor. So you can see this is a range of grid pieces, and this is a range of grid pieces as you would expect. This is some roof types over here. You can see all is FlexiColor, and these are the wall pieces, all is FlexiColor as well. And we've got 4 different colors. Just quickly showed this to you over here. So we've got 3 different brick colors, and we have got the stuff in between that you can do some mossy stuff and so on with it if you fancy doing so. The same goes for these wonderful window lights. As you can see, really cool stuff. And there are so many, like this pack is really something that we were lacking, because it's a lot of great brick pieces. Like really, you can see the texture, even though it's the same piece, even just with changing a couple of the textures. it's making a massive difference in terms of how you can use them. Also, the roofs are pretty cool. There are a lot of cool pieces, a lot of small pieces as well. As you can see over here, some iron pieces, some very small wooden pieces. We've got surprisingly small pieces over here, and this is again what I said, the inconsistency is screaming at us again, because these are the 3 pieces we got with all packs now, but then again these pieces, which will come in super handy in terms of building different, you know, shapes and stuff like that, this is now the single pack that has these types of pieces. And if you go in, for example, in one of our most versatile sets over here, if you go for plaster, you can see there are still only these pieces in here, as you can tell. Like, these are the same in this size, as you can see, for example. And yeah, well, we have them, which is nice, but first of all, we don't have that small piece, you know, this is a bigger one, and then we don't have this piece over here, and we don't have that. It's just, I mean, just give us these pieces. But other than that, it's all flexi-color, even this kind of stuff. By the way, just mentioning, this is all Gothic in a way, because people said it's Romanesque, but I thought it was Gothic either way. And well, actually Frontier confirmed it with the screenshots anyways, but this is a Gothic set, which I think is really good. But yeah, then again, I said this already in my videos before the release. This is stuff I potentially will never use, like this canopy over here, as nicely as it's designed, and it would fit into, like, Planet Coaster would benefit from stuff like that, like, massively. I'm just, you know, I'm just not into it. It's there. Maybe I'm gonna abuse that for something else. Could be some kind of cool flipped around Giga Mushroom, I don't know, you know, something like that could be really cool. I don't know, looks like that. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna abuse that at some point, but this is that. Enough minutes spent on scenery, I guess. Let's move over to what you wanted to see, and that is the animals. And we're gonna start with a little bit of a bummer, and this is the Egyptian fruit bed. Now, let me just hit play and show what's going on, and maybe by this point you know it already. I'm not sure if Frontier has shown something beforehand. But unfortunately, even though it might seem like that, this is not free flying. They are all looping, and if I'm gonna stay half a second longer over here, you will see these loops happening all over again. Now, what I'm going to show you is, I'm gonna go real quick into the explore mode cam. What is happening here? I just put myself on up there. Did not want to do that. Let me just go here. So what's kind of cool is that we have these new PVC pieces, and you go in, and then you are inside of the aviary. Now, as I said, I was hoping that this is free flying, but it's clearly not. And even the animation is maybe not spot on, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of a review in a minute, because I don't want to spend too much time on that. One thing that is specifically cool though is, and therefore I have to go out of this building again, is this exhibit comes with a whole bunch of new options, so you can again check in and out all these different types of, you know, enrichment items if you want to, and then it's much more free if you want to do stuff yourself. But beware, nothing will react with the animals, so they will always loop the same, so you're gonna have to learn which types of loops they have, and then try to build your stuff in the middle if you want to create an immersion. But there is the way to customize that, so you can change the floor to a solid floor if you wish to, and you can also do stuff like that. You can say, I want to have it glass, I want to have it solid, or I want to have none. And none is pretty cool, and I'm gonna sync all of this now and say none, and then you have basically a null fence design. And that, my friends, is something I wished we have for all the exhibits for a million years now. But guess what? Frontier did not include that into the small exhibits, which is a pity, but I hope it's gonna happen at some point. But this is that, as you can tell. I think you can do some cool stuff with it. It's just not exactly what I was expecting and hoping, to be frankly honest, and I really do hope that this is not a sign towards birds, because I truly do not want to have birds in the game like that. Maybe except some smaller ones, you know, that might not be doable else, like for example colibri or something like that, or like hummingbird it is. So yeah, well, you know, it's something that I truly don't want to see this way, but it's the way it is, you know. The animals just spawn in here, you can't do much about it. And also one thing you might want to see, and I'm just gonna quickly go back to customize and say solid, and then, you know, I'm gonna go in, oops, So unfortunately, as you can tell, it's not super dark in here either. I was hoping that if you click solid that this is gonna be like crazy dark in here, but even if you go for like, you know, nighttime, it is, you know, not even quite dark. It's okay, but it's not like super dark. The sound effects are, as always, pretty cool. The lighting through these PVC things is pretty dope as well, but it's not something that gonna knocks me off my chair. So I'm gonna be honest with you and just gonna move over to something that really did knock me off the chair. So where's that habitat? There you go, over here. Let me pause the game to find all these animals real quick, because mostly they are up in this area. There you go. I'm not gonna go through them all one by one like the last times. I'm gonna show you all the animals in action now. So let's hit play, because there's a lot going on over here. So let's start with one of the foxes. This is the red fox. You can see also the skunk in the background. You can even see the raccoon in the background. But I'm gonna say it right away. These animals, in terms of quality, might actually be my favorite pack in terms of overall quality of animations and animals. Now, there are a lot of things, as you have seen maybe just from the beginning. There are a bunch of new animations for these animals. You can see the raccoon doing some cool stuff in the background. The animation quality overall is just phenomenal of these animals, and I'm just going to show you some of these. Now let's go to the raccoon. They have all a completely new type of yeah, animation sets. Oh, there's also like a baby raccoon. Let's just go to the baby raccoon real quick. There you go. The raccoon also comes with a brand new climbing mechanic, which, oh, not mechanic is the wrong word, but they have a pretty new climbing animation, which I'm going to show you in a second. And also, they can use the burrows as well. The foxes, the raccoons, and the wombats can all use the wonderful thing. I'm not sure. Wait, there you go. This can be used by the red fox and the common wombat, and then we have the smaller ones somewhere over here. They can be used by the skunk. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the skunk and not the raccoon. So the raccoon can't use any of the things. Let's quickly go over if we can find a skunk real quick, because we haven't had that one. There's one sleeping over here. Look at that. It's just laying down in here. And again, just making that point real quick, the skunk is definitely it's definitely my least favorite of the pack, even though it's still a very good animal, but it's the least favorite of my pack simply because, well, they don't offer that much crazy new stuff. But now, let's go to the star of the show for most people, not for me in particular. I think for me it's the raccoon, but the wombat over here is also a wonderful new animal, and it's so cool, and it just also screams to get some other animals of that kind into the game. I just love the types of new animations they brought in, because they have brought in so many cool new animations for this wonderful animal, like how it's lying around, how it's scratching with its back foot, just like a lot of cool little animations that really make this thing feel alive, feel nice, and just in general feel very realistic. So let's just go in, right, shall we? They all living in the little burrow. They do. Okay, well, let's not follow it around too much. They are like playing over here. I wasn't able also to show you all the fur variants of the fox. It turned out to be extremely difficult to get different fur variants, it seems. I mean, you can see subtle differences. This one over here is a bit whitish to the back, but all over the place, it's just like a massive stretch to get these. Like you can see, I was breeding already quite a bit. The foxes, by the way, if you've seen that not already, but they have also pretty new jumping animations. They have a new crouch animation. It's very hard to show it all to you, because I only found out after a long time playing in here. So yeah, it seems like they have really done a good job at improving how the animals traverse through the areas and stuff. But now it's time to show you how the raccoon is actually climbing. So therefore I'm just going to go to habitat. I'm just going to put a prefab climbing thing in here. Where was that one that they just used quite a bit? So that one was used quite nicely, and that one as well. Just going to put these two down, and then I'm just going to speed the whole thing up. Oh, actually, you know what? I can just take one of those and move them on top of it, and then you will see it. That makes things a lot more easy. So let's just go to that one and see what it's doing, because the new climbing animation looks really cool. I hope it's gonna go to the centerpiece now. So there you go, and now you can see, look at that, it's just climbing face down Okay, the game is now obviously, yeah, showcase situation. But there you go. This is now it found its right situation. I love it. It's so good. It's just so much better. I mean, the climbing still has a couple of issues, of course, but you can really tell that they improved this by, well, not the climbing itself, but the animation is really cool by just like head down and then like this slow moving down. Really looks cool. Really looks good. Oh, there's also like a cute little sleep down animation. You can see the raccoon also has a couple of nice fur variants. That one over here is a bit more reddish. The skunk, I believe, doesn't really have too many of those. And yeah, that's about it, guys. This is, in about 15 minutes, the wonderful new update, the Twilight DLC. It's not an update, the Twilight DLC, the paid DLC. And I have some thoughts on it. Shall we discuss the thoughts while we, you know, let's keep the camera up here because there's the most going on and you can see some of the new animals playing around. Now, this DLC came in very surprising for me. I did not expect that one. It's labeled as the Twilight DLC. It could have been also the Forest DLC or the Spooky DLC or the Autumn DLC. However you would have labeled it, it would have fitted quite nicely. However, I think it comes with a lot of caveats, for me at least. So I think the quality of pieces is just really good and amongst the 3 best DLCs we had so far in terms of piece packets. You know, it's really good. But the animals, as much as I love the quality of them, and the quality of these animals is ridiculous because they bring, even though I thought they wouldn't bring anything new to the table, they all bring their very unique set of animations, and of course the model itself is new as well. So really cool. But these animals are all in particular very similar, like, you know, ground dwelling forest animals, very common ones, if you will, that live in a certain area, and it's not really hard to find them. I mean, trash pandas in themselves are kind of a story for themselves. Red foxes, I've even seen some foxes already in the forest here. I've seen a skunk once in a forest, so yeah, it's been actually something that I wasn't looking forward in particular if you would have asked me. So I mean, it's good that Frontier doesn't ask me all the time. In fact, they never do, but it's really something that I wanted to share with you. I think the DLC, for what it is, quality-wise, is decent, and it's still very much worth the money. It's nowhere near the Arctic pack, so it's way better than that. But there are a lot of things in here that I think could have been better in terms of, you know, maybe adding some other animals. Like, I don't know, if you go with the Twilight set, there are some other nocturnal animals that would have been cool. There are also some big cats and stuff that would have fitted maybe. I don't know, but something maybe to make it a bit more variable and a bit more different in terms of getting maybe a bigger animal in as well. But they try to bring in something new to the table with the bats. So I'm hoping that this is opening up for just in general a better variety when it comes to the animals that come with the DLC. I think it's the first time ever that I will do something specific for an exhibit animal that comes with the pack, so at least they deserve some praise on that one. But other than that, or some praise I should say, but other than that, I'm very split in terms of what I think about the animals. I mean, I love, you know, I've loved the Wombat, I love the raccoon, I love the fox, but none of these animals just scream to me I have to build a habitat for them. See, this is the one big issue I have over here. However, I obviously did do something already, and this is going to be released today. You guys will like it, I'm quite sure. So keep your eyes on the channel if you want to see it. But now that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this a lot. Let me know in the comments down below what you think to the animal roster, because it's just me. It's like one person, you know? So maybe a lot of people love what you've seen in this video. So hopefully you do. I really do like the update anyhow, but let's see what we can do with the animals. Now, keep your eyes on the channel for the next minutes. There's more coming today. And now have a wonderful evening. Stay safe and goodbye.